Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, your host, ImperialDane. Yes, indeed, and today I have for you a 1 versus 1 on Angoville. Again, I'm a bit busy though, and I have really been trying my best to sort of look for replays, but for some reason I just can't really find anything, so I just went for this one. This is going to be a game featuring me. Yes, I know some of you might be sort of going, oh no. I was going to go, oh yay, and I'm sort of going to, oh well. But we are going to be seeing Alexx7 fighting for the Americans, fighting for the 29th Infantry Division. Opposing him shall be, well, of course, me. Fighting for the 2nd Panzer Division. Somewhere in the fields of Angoville. We are seeing a pretty focused effort right away from Alex towards these. This is going a bit rest game. Again, I'm a bit busy. I have some things to catch up on, so sadly I can't devote quite as much time as would like to on this. And again, I had to rather spend a long time just trying to find the cars and sort of determining things. Of course, I do have others, but again, time is of the essence. And we are seeing a 3-engineer start from Alexx7. Rather interesting. He's going right here for the path for the fuel, so I'm going here and there. So clearly, this is a man with a purpose, a mission, a plan. We'll of course have to see how this plan works out. I, on the other hand, is a man with some Panzergrenadiers, and he's going to be a bit delayed with his riflemen, but of course the 3 engineers will of course be able to seize much more territory. He's going right there for strategic point, fuel point almost seized, but not quite. And we are going to see a Schwimmwagen coming out for me. Not the most often seen thing, but in this case I figured it might be interesting to try out. Of course, just in case, you know, he might have gone for a 4-engineer start. A Schwimmwagen can do a bit there, plus it can help support your Panzergrenadiers against some early riflemen as well. So it sort of has its advantages and of course its disadvantages. It is a bit expensive, but of course it can reverse, which the bike can't, which does mean it's more likely to actually survive, at least in my opinion. And I rather prefer my units surviving rather than having cheap units I can throw away. So that's sort of my idea. Pretty good grasp already here, securing the fuel. Now going for the high munitions right there, although there's one, I believe, right there in fact. No idea why we didn't go for that. And we are seeing the first engagement to sure. Pioneers and Indians fighting off against each other. Schwimmwagen providing covering fire with its light machine gun. Pioneers moving in to flank the engineers, in fact taking up position in the building. And there we go, the engineers are under a bit of fire now. Riflemen moving in from the south. Panzergrenadiers are not in a position to actually support. Another Panzergrenadier team is on the way. Engineers getting shot up. Riflemen moving in, taking up position from the south. And this is going to be a slightly unfortunate position for the Pioneers, who will need to retreat. Rückzug, Männer, you cannot survive. And they jump out the only door almost practically. One goes down. The rifleman quickly takes up a position there. And Panzergrenadiers on the other hand take up position right there. Not quite working out. In fact, only one window versus quite a few more there, so I'm going to have to change plans there. Second Panzergrenadier team arrives. For some reason I'm quite intent. I'm now finding him here. And of course, where would I then be in the most optimal position to fight? Right here at the 2 windows. In fact, laying down sandbags to really increase my advantage right here at these 2 windows with 10 Panzergrenadiers. Heavy cover, and they are certainly going to handle a bit. But there we go. Rifleman moving in to flank. And no cover, negative cover. In fact, immediately dropping one rifleman on the road. Schwimmwagen moving in to support, although it is heavily damaged. Should consider moving in. Rifleman rushing towards the building. Getting as many as possible. But not quite managing. In fact, the Schwimmwagen goes out of control. Panzergrenadiers are the wrong side, moving in towards, again, the sort of position where there are fewest windows. In fact, taking up a bit of heavy cover behind the remains of the Schwimmwagen, lighting up as a nice little bonfire. Heavy losses for me, in fact, but the riflemen are not doing too well either. And in fact, there we go, they are being forced to retreat and right past all of these Panzergrenadiers. This is not going to end up well. Right out negative cover. And there we go, the rifleman team was lost. He probably had not been counting on that, instead also going for the cutoff point. He's really being aggressive with all those engineers he has managed to secure. Harassing Panzergrenadiers moving in to do a bit of harassment on their own, but rather being denied in that purpose. Not purpose, but purpose. There's a difference. But quickly getting things reinforced, quickly marching out once more for the fatherland. A bit of lack of infantry. I need something else on the field, I'd imagine. MG covering this spot. And we are seeing some wire have been laid down there earlier, of course, but now cut through by the engineers moving in with flamethrowers. Could in fact be hoping to flank that MG42 or to just stop my attempt right there, securing the fuel point again. Plenty of options right there. Riflemen going for the strategic point right there. Volksgrenadiers getting reinforced. Another third team of Volksgrenadiers is on the way. And the Pioneers rather suddenly find them rushed away. MG, of course, in this case realizing the threat is from down there, not here.
We are ready.
Further Volksgrenadiers of the 2nd Panzer Division moving out. Vorwärtsmänner, and there we go, the 3rd team is ready. We are seeing, no, we're not seeing any mines from Alexx7, despite the fact, and of course that's a slight odd thing here. I mean, he has 2 high munitions points, but so far we've only seen 1 flamethrower, and I really think that's a bit of a wasted opportunity. I mean, 2 high munition points is going to get you a lot of munitions. And by a lot I mean a lot.
Forward supply lines are broken.
So I mean, really, you ought to be pushing that advantage. Sadly, does not seem to be the case. Rather than here in a bit of trouble. Volksgrenadiers is pushing on here with the MG42, the Maschinengewehr 42 in Stützung. If that's how you would put it, I'd probably said it wrong in German. Riflemen hanging about there, and other forces of Alexx7 being pushed back. And then we go Riflemen getting a bit attacked here, of course. Volksgrenadiers positioning themselves here, of course, to get the most firing on as the Riflemen retreat, thus doing the most damage. I mean, trying to position your troops in the path of your opponent's retreat is certainly a good idea. Even better if you can get there with automatic weapons. And most best is, in fact, if you can get the Bren gun. That's absolutely horrible to things that are retreating. The LMG-42 can also do some things, though mostly against snipers. It certainly turns into some sort of, I don't know, not quite sure what you'd describe as that, but some sort of evil anti-sniper device. And of course I'm rather realizing I'm a bit behind, you know, in things that could stop an M8, so what do? I mine the entrances. Basically, I mean, it's only not going to stop it, but it's going to lay him on to, at least I can in some safety get an anti-tank gun to stop the M8, so slight little detail there. Of course, it could just crash through the fences, but you know, usually they do try to take the paths right here. And Volksgrenadiers on their own in the east, running into some American trouble. The armies have spotted them and they're firing away. Pioneers laying down some mines while the Volksgrenadiers do their best to delay them. Americans pushing up here through the east. More flamethrowers, more riflemen. In fact, attacking from numerous angles. MG42 might not be able to cover it all. Riflemen out in the open though. There's great engineers getting stopped by the MG42. Not quite the most well-timed attack. Pioneers will need to retreat. Riflemen moving up. Could hit the minefield. Krieg barracks almost up. And the rifle prong right there stopped by the MG42. Other riflemen team moving up against the MG, but the Volksgrenadiers decide then, of course, to focus down those riflemen who are wounded, who are not looking in a good... Oh dear, retreat, Alex. Get your men out of there. Save them. And he didn't quite manage it. The Volksgrenadiers definitely see them off with a few shots to the head. But there we go. His salvation might be at hand. And M8 has arrived. And just in time did he actually get the armored skirts. That could easily have ended up with a Panzerfaust surprise for me. With, of course, him getting the wrecked M8 surprise. And another rifleman team. Oh, dear, Alex. Retreat, unit preservation. And he lost it. I mean, again, you know, sometimes you need to know when to retreat and when to hold your ground. In that case, that obviously didn't quite work. And in fact, that leaves him with very few riflemen. In fact, only 1 team of riflemen, 2 teams of engineers, and a Trier center. He hasn't gotten any medic stations either. That's not going to help him in the long run. But the M8, if he can handle that well enough, he can do some damage. He can certainly throw me off my tracks because, again, I'm not quite prepared. And I'm certainly going to have to, in this case, use the pack in a reactive manner. And trouble is, the pack isn't really that good in that situation. M8 moving in though, 50 caliber blazing, MG42 taking a bit of damage. Pack inching forwards on western flank. Volksgrenadiers and MG42 in fact taking quite a few losses to the Greyhound as it blasts away with quite a bit of firepower. Volksgrenadiers taking some losses. And Rifleman are ready to see them off, but he's going to need more infantry. And in fact, we are going to see some infantrymen on the way, but again, a medic station will have helped him quite a bit. And now the Grenadiers sind klar to fight. And a bit of barbed wire here to actually sort of prevent anyone from, well, directly rushing at the victory point. At least that's the sort of general idea. A bit of sandbags, of course. I'm not really going to be pushing hard here. I'm not quite actually aware how heavy my losses against him are. I mean, how much damage I caused him. And he's actually in a pretty weak state, but of course I'm still a bit concerned. You know, you never know with those Americans. They can pull off a surprise, and of course he's probably pulling off some sort of deception quite unintentionally. And hitting a mine, pinning down, quite wounded. He needs to get those riflemen out before the Grenadiers arrive. And there we go. Riflemen are taking quite some nasty losses. And meanwhile, fighting in the east continues as Rifleman engineers moving in against the Volksgrenadiers. The Volksgrenadiers do not look like they will be having a happy time. And the M8 just kind of sort of cruises by, fires a bit, and moves away. Not quite the most exciting fight so far. I mean, we've sort of seen some early skirmishing, some pretty nasty blows though to Alexx7. I mean, I'm quite surprised now that I'm checking how much damage I actually managed to do to him. And again, that's something you can't always be aware of, but of course you try to be aware of it. You know, how many riflemen do I kill? What can I then expect on behalf of that? But now he does have the M8. He is getting more riflemen. And there we go. Now he's actually getting grenades. Interesting, he's rather hoping for those few riflemen with BRs and grenades to really do the damage. And I'm sort of lining up for another attack while he's doing a bit of harassment. Cheeky person. But the M8 is going to need repairs, and he's getting some artillery. That could certainly be the equalizer. The thing that will turn things around a bit for him. As artillery can really do quite a bit of damage if well placed. It's a bit like a strafing run. In some senses, Grenadiers advancing, Volksgrenadiers running up in support. Grenades getting lobbed. M8 moving up.
Grenades have arrived.
Rather moving up here, Volksgrenadiers being big caught up in the open. Pack sort of advances. Of course, this is not a great position for the pack to fight because there's too many buildings, too much blocking, which of course means the M8, if it is a bit uncareful, the M8 could basically rush through here, and there's no mines, which is a bit of a mistake on my half. Grenadiers pulling back, he could swiftly move up behind it and knock out the pack. Rather than here getting into a lot of trouble. Engineers flanking about, but they don't seem to be doing much. Could be having to call in some artillery right here. Yes, indeed.
Casualties being reported.
And he lost another rifleman team. He's not really keeping those riflemen quite alive. Got there 21 for the armored car. Volksgrenadier is taking a beating, and that Pack 38 is what you might call exposed. More riflemen on the way, obviously.
Gassed up and good to go.
And there we go, quickly and swiftly pulling back behind the buildings, thus avoiding the deadly gunfire of the Panzerabwehrkanone 38. Stormtroopers moving up behind, lead Panzergrenadiers of the 2nd Panzer Division. While more riflemen are on the way, certainly not giving up there. And some mines actually quite nicely placed there, causing me some losses to my Stormtroopers. And we are seeing a much larger assault going on here in the east. I mean the west.
We have territory.
Silly me, the west. Let's slightly speed this up. And here we go in the east, grenades, everything else being lobbed against the Volksgrenadiers and the Pioneers. Could end up badly for the forces of the Wehrmacht. And there we go, full retreat, Pack 38 on the run as well. Oh dear. In the meanwhile, M8 doing a bit of havoc here in the west where there's absolutely no anti-tank assets. In fact, there's only Grenadiers and an MG42. Well, there's
enemy unit down.
And the pack actually gets cleared out. Good job right now. That's only going to give his M8 more time to do more damage to my troops. Unless, of course, it does something silly. More riflemen on the way. He's really hoping to replenish his ranks. Rifleman right here. Volksgrenadier is trying to cover. I don't quite want to lose it, of course. At the same time, though, note the pack is just within range of the MG bunker. So if it actually tries to go for it, it might end up badly. Veterancy 2 for the M8, increasing penetration. And that M8 is certainly going to be becoming quite a thorn in my side. Another Pack 38 ready. And there we go, rifleman moving in. But as you might have noticed, and these riflemen need to get out of there. His pack is exposed. I mean, the one he just took from me,
Infantry squad
and he in
reporting
fact just ends up
casualties.
wasting 3 riflemen. That's pretty much it. Again, you know, you have to be careful in those circumstances.
Yeah.
But laying down mines, provide a bit of protection, taking up position there in the building with a broadside for riflemen. Veterans C1, that could actually prove to be a bit of a problem. And not much cover for the force of the Wehrmacht, although I could have snuck someone up here to fire from heavy cover. Instead, I end up retreating. Run away.
Just give me a rifle, 1 round, and point me up for
Could be he's going for the cutoff point. He's going for a bit of harassment. And supply out veterans upgrade number 1. That's what we like to see, but we'd also like to see a medic station, Mr. Alexx7. A medic station would be nice. But certainly going for the cutoff point is also going to help a bit. It's certainly going to suddenly cut me off from what little resources I have left. So trigger that M8 moving up to support. Swift counter-attack from all these Volksgrenadiers and Grenadiers and Stormtroopers. And one rifleman actually bites the dust as they pull back. Could we be seeing a grenade? Yes, indeed, lobbing it. And Grenadiers lobbing a grenade of their own. And the riflemen actually the ones taking the losses. Another assault moving up from the south. Getting sticky bombs now. Interestingly enough, he's apparently expecting some sort of armored business from me. I suppose that's not an entirely bad idea.
Make sticky bombs.
Not an entirely bad idea, but of course I might decide to wait with that. Grenadiers and Volksgrenadiers getting attacked from all sides. Grenades getting locked, flying too far. And Grenadiers taking quite a beating. Could in fact end up losing an entire Grenadier team to the BAR fire. No, I do manage to pull out in time. And the MG42 is a bit slow to turn around, but it actually does. It's stopping the assault right there. Pack 38 not exposed. And riflemen sneaking up here through the northern path, which has been left undefended by me, which is not actually a good idea. You usually want to wire it off or mine it. And the MG42 ends up getting flanked. Oh dear. Oh no.
Enemy unit.
The MG42 actually gets knocked down. That's going to be a bit of a huge blow to my defensive plans. Still have a bit of infantry, but it's slowly getting veterans, so that's only going to be nice. But again, the loss of the MG42 is going to be felt, I fear. He now actually holds all 4 rifleman teams, and he's actually keeping them alive. That's good to see. Very good to see. Not entirely sure what he's intending to do with this M8. And a bit of a reconnaissance, but he just managed to do a bit of harassment on my Pack 38, which is certainly a problem enough on its own. Second Pack 38 moving up. Volksgrenadiers, Stormtroopers.
Enemy
Pack
unit
38 gets cleared out again. The M8 just keeps racking up those kills. God damn it. I mean, this is certainly quite the nice handling of the M8. He's not trying to use it as a tank. He's using it as a really nice tool for harassment, and thus forcing me to sort of move about my anti-tank asset. He doesn't stay very long in at any point, which is certainly a nice move. Again, your Greyhound is not a tank. It's an armored car. Armored cars are great at harassment, flank protection and flanking, but you know, not for charging right at your opponent. And Alexx7 seems to be getting the most out of that. 17 kills so far.
We are losing.
And once it gets veterancy free, if it does, I mean, it's going to do more damage, actually. And that includes the 50 caliber on its top. Rifleman caught out in the open, though. Quick counterattack by Grenadiers and Volksgrenadiers. Stormtroopers and Pioneers moving towards the east. Pack recruit again. And veterancy 2 is up for infantry. Mine was actually laid down by the rifleman, killing 1 Volksgrenadier. Now there's quite a bit. Assault moving, grenade getting lobbed at the Grenadiers. Assault on the rifleman, gaining veterancy 2, though they need to get out of there. Oh dear. And an utter collapse of the western flank as a successful American assault from numerous angles. Again, that's how you do it. You don't just attack from one point, you try to sort of attack from several points. Only a Volksgrenadier team is now able to really stem the tide. But he needs to get those riflemen out of there. They are too low on health. Grenade getting up at the Volksgrenadiers. Oh dear, this is an absolute massacre. Chaos ensues as Alexx7 and the 29th Infantry Division break through in the west. Oh dear. With quite some losses against me. Which is only also going to be quite expensive. A quick counter-attack being mounted, whatever I can muster, including heavily wounded Volksgrenadiers. Grenadiers being thrust into the fight. Even some stormtroopers are quite in peak condition. In fact, he ends up retreating with an almost full veteran 2 rifleman team. And a pioneer team bites the dust. He was actually mining.
Sector being captured.
But again, sometimes, I mean, you can throw a gamble like that. In this case, it actually worked. Not entirely sure how or why. But it's certainly not something you should be doing every single time. It can be dangerous, but currently Alexx is in fact holding most of the map. He's now gotten himself some anti-tank guns. He can call in rangers. He's got a good point, strong point. I would certainly recommend getting a medic station to really, again, help with the sort of attrition problem. Could also be calling in some rangers. That would also do him quite a bit of goodness. And we in fact have a bit of quiet. Time to switch back. Rather than moving up against the Volksgrenadiers. Volksgrenadiers pulling back, but again, attacking from numerous points. Not just up through the road here, but from here, here, and here, for example. Can really do much more. And nice mines from Alexx here. He's really doing his best to sort of protect. We'd like to see that, although some barbed wire and sandbags would also be nice. Stormtroopers running into the riflemen. Riflemen seem to be... Oh dear, I was actually hoping for them to be rushing in. Again, you have to be a bit careful with that. Presumptions like that waste munitions. Now, of course, one rifleman team is left behind. It could be an interesting move if you're actually trying to lay down sandbags, so he can then take it in nice and quiet. Instead, now he's having Veteran C2 riflemen up against Veteran C2 Grenadiers and Stormtroopers. Killing 2, though, in the process. Sturmhaubitze has been called in to support the 2nd Panzer Division. Stug 42 was not actually based on the Stug 4, it was based on the Stug 3. I don't believe any Stug 4 variants was ever made. Not quite sure why he rushes his engineers into this building. That seems a bit odd. And the anti-tank is going to be needed to be pulled up to deal with this Stug. Mines being cleared, but the pioneers could end up being cleared themselves. Pack creeping up. Oh, we arrive in problems. Grenades getting lobbed. Neither managing to really do much. Volksgrenadiers taking damage. Oh my goodness, mine went off. And a rifleman team was lost. Oh dear, that was quite brutal, but the anti-tank gun is ready. Sort of. Just not fighting at the right target. And I seemingly move in my Stug 42 when I should be pulling it out. That's not how you do it. Usually, although you can get a bit fortunate and the Stug 42 can actually clear out the crew, although, yeah, you shouldn't be counting on it. But follow up infantry to sort this out.
Ready to punch back the Yankees.
And we are now seeing a tank depot actually going up for Alexx7. And yes, no mid-game analysis. My apologies again, sort of time is of the essence. Tempus fugit. But those riflemen are certainly dying in huge catastrophic numbers, but he is keeping those veteran ones alive, which is certainly going to help him quite a bit. Armored car is ever slightly closer to Veteran C3. I'm doing my best to sort of secure some territory again. And going straight at the Stug 42. In fact, it's very close to getting knocked out, so he might be hoping to get the sticky bomb off. Bundle grenade does some terrible things to the rifleman. Stormtroopers getting gunned down on the retreat. One man makes it. It's Helmut. Oh dear. Heavy losses to the riflemen. BAR left behind. Assault going on here in the west. Riflemen and engineers. And the Stu 42 Veterans 1 coming under fire from the anti-tank gun. Grenade. Volksgrenadiers not looking too well. In fact, gaining Veterancy 3 for the Rifleman. Incredible. Has he actually gotten? Yes, indeed he has. No, he hasn't. That's just some stuff from the headquarters making it look like it's at first glance that he's gained Veterancy upgrade number 2. And he's actually getting Hellcats, no Shermans. I think the Shermans would be better choice against the infantry right here. I mean, the Hellcat's going to be nice against the Stu 42, but that's about it.
We are losing territory.
Now going for weapon supports in as well. Again, I would have liked to see a Sherman from him, although playing the game I wouldn't have. Of course, obviously. But you know, as a cast, of course, I'd rather have to say no. A Sherman would have done quite a bit, and of course these Riflemen have to be preserved. Oh dear, bundle grenade. And he lost the Veterancy 3 Rifleman team. That was his bloody own fault. He should have retreated them much earlier. Instead, he lost them to a bundle grenade. That is not how you do it. And again, no medic stations. I mean, he's pulling off some very nice things, but in the longer run, he's running into problems because he can't quite keep his troops alive. Which is not quite how you usually want to do it. Grenadiers taking up position here behind the fence and the shrubbery. American assault moving in again. Sturmarmory on Civic as well. There go the assault commencing. Flamethrower engineers coming under a bit of fire focus. In fact, Riflemen charging up. Grenades getting exchanged. Riflemen getting retreated. More Riflemen though are pulling up, gaining Veterans 1 in the process. And the M8 is coming under heavy fire, but it looks like it might be pulling out. And be saved. Could we be seeing a sniper on the way for Mr. Alexx7? Or what should we expect? Apparently the Riflemen to retreat. Anti-tank gun getting flanked by Volksgrenadiers. And there we go. In fact, the sniper is in fact there, opening up all the Volksgrenadiers, and I rather realize I don't actually have anything to deal with the sniper. Hellcat has been cloaked and gets off a nice good shot on the Stu 42. Volksgrenadiers moving in, hoping to catch that. M8 perhaps, but instead managed to clear out the anti-tank gun. M18 opening up on the Stu, and now actually coming under fire from the Panzergrenadiers. Volksgrenadiers moving in, hoping to catch the sniper, taking heavy losses from the M8 themselves. And he's actually gotten a 50 cal machine gun for the Hellcat as well, though he needs to get it out of there before the Pack 38 clears it out. Rifleman advancing. No fresh replacement Rifleman though. And now he's actually gun supply out upgrade number 2. Still no Shermans though. Nebelwerfer ready. And the Sturmgeschütz on the way. And meanwhile, someone is hitting a mine. In this case, I was actually firing here because I'm anticipating that it might actually try to recruit. In this case, I was wrong. And for some reason, Helmut decides to blow it all by firing away. And the pack ends up getting a bit ignominiously decrewed. Ignominiously. And Rangers actually arrived for Alexx7. He's apparently hoping for some more elite units. Oh no, Alex, you just wasted a Rifleman team on the pack. Oh dear, and that was a Veterancy 1 Rifleman team. Again, you know, unit preservation. I mean, you're good at, you know, pulling off some clever moves, but you're not quite good at keeping your men alive throughout those clever moves. And certainly it would have been a better move to recruit this once, and you can then, you know, use the armor-piercing rounds on it. Instead now, Stormtroopers and Volksgrenadiers under cover of the Stug are advancing against his positions. Assault rifles in fact being equipped. Stormtroopers getting snapped in the process though. And the Hellcat once more moves forwards, 50 caliber blazing. Firing away at the Stug, anti-tank gun recruit. And the Stu 42 is in fact in a bit of trouble now, getting focused all exclusively. And is in fact lost. Stormtroopers get good snipe on the retreat. Will it happen? No. Looks like it. Oh, the sniper went for the Volksgrenadiers instead. Stu being hunted down by the Hellcat. Pack 38 nowhere in sight. Although one could be pulled in from there. And the Hellcat is on the hunt. It has smelled German blood and it wants it. And apparently it shall be getting it. Actually trying to reverse, but not quite succeeding. Nebelwerfer in a slightly less spectacular position. Main gun destroyed. Pioneers rushing forwards in a desperate attempt to save the Sturmgeschütz. Doesn't make it though. Hellcat instead gains 21. And the Hellcat almost gets knocked out by the pack, but the pack just doesn't quite manage. Still heavy infantry losses again for Mr. Alexx7, who's now going for another Hellcat. M8 is not getting repaired either. In fact, it looks like he doesn't actually have any engineers anymore. Grenadiers hanging about here a bit on their own. Why not just speed this up a bit? Just for the fun of it. Getting an LMG 42 and immediately beginning laying down some defensive works. Some sandbags, LMGs, more Hellcats in the west, and Sniper trying to actually clear out the anti-tank and thus opening up for another push. And a Tiger has arrived from the... Ooh, I don't know which actually one... I suppose it would have been the... 101st SS Schwere Panzerabteilung. I'm not entirely sure what else sort of Tiger Schwere Panzerabteilung with a Tiger that could have supported the 2nd Panzer Division against Americans. But they really didn't get any actually as such. That's sort of a fun detail. Also, I've sort of been looking for a manner to actually sort of get the Tiger Ace skin from the Normandy campaign, the Schultz one, to this Tiger Ace. That would be really nice, but so far I'm not having any luck. Much to my distress. But Pack 38 getting recruited. M18 pulling back. Tiger in a bit of heavy fire situation. Anti-tank gun getting blasted. Manpower being floated. He could get an off-map combat group soon. He might be homing for that, actually. That would certainly not be a bad bet. Or a bad idea. In the meanwhile, some riflemen went awry here in the west. In fact, he lost another rifleman team to the Grenadiers with the LMG 42. It seems like we've now gotten a BAR as well.
Battalion reinforcements standing by.
Looks like the anti-tank gun just barely makes it out of there. M8 still not repaired. And you can, just like can queue, capturing orders, you can also queue repairing orders.
Germans are seizing territory from us.
General Krebs, 1945. Ask me. Bit curious, it seems like. No idea what he's curious about. There we go. Off-map combat group ready to be summoned in. Now he just needs the manpower. Of course, a good off-map combat group could really provide him with the needed resources to break through the lines of the 2nd Panzer Division and do some terrible things. Ah, not to me. And who was it to? Imperial Swede? I mean, it's there's not exactly a lot of people with ImperialDane in their name. Grenadiers on a bit of fire. Although, mind you, I mean, so far the ones with the LMG upgrades so far has the majority of the kills. Pack advancing. Tiger advancing in the east. Volksgrenadiers with BARs moving up. Getting sniped. Stormtroopers sneaking in from the flank, hoping to catch the snipers, but they don't quite manage. And now a second LMG 42 for the Grenadiers. In fact, all that automatic fire scares them off. Off-map combat group moving in. 2 Hellcats, 1 rifleman team, 1 heavy machine gun. That could be what he might be wanting. Combined with all the rest. That would in fact be 4 Hellcats and an M8 he could be pulling into that assault. And meanwhile, the heavy machine gun and the rifleman are pushing in the west. Opening up on the Grenadiers without cover. And again, note, they were actually quickly suppressed. Slight detail most people actually don't mention about the elite armor the Grenadiers gain of veterans 2. It actually means they get faster suppressed. And now we go, we're just launching in Hellcat after Hellcat at the Tiger. Anti-tank gun moving up. One loss, though. He has to be careful. You know, keep on the move when fighting a Tiger. Even with this many Hellcats, you want to lose as few as possible. M8 flanking the Pak 38. And there we go, flanking the Tiger. Nebelwerf also left alone. Move it, and Hellcat, M8 trying to knock out the anti-tank gun without the 50 caliber. It's having a bit of trouble. Volksgrenadiers is getting shot up. Panzerfaust on the M8. Nebelwerfer actually managed to knock out one. Yes, actually, Nebelwerfer knocks out a Hellcat. Quite surprised, actually. Leaving behind with only 2 Hellcats from this assault. Although I've lost a Tiger. Probably soon an anti-tank gun. Although I could get that M8. In the meanwhile, the assault continues here in the west. Grenadiers are in fact completely pushed off, despite their best efforts. Heavy machine gun though should be pulled up to provide cover. M18 could be supporting the M8, and there goes Stormtroopers pulling out. He needs more infantry though. Mehr Infanterie. Viele Leute. No, actually, he's actually laid down a mine there. Quite interesting. And there we go, some engineers ready to repair all the damaged American equipment. He's probably also hoping for another off-map combat group. I mean, a lot of American players, once they get the off-map combat group, tend to pretty much rely on it largely. I mean, I sometimes do it myself. It's pretty much easy, and you usually get something quite handy. But so far, he needs lots of engineers, and apparently he's going for something else. He's going for another Hellcat. Might have been an idea to actually just get one Sherman at the very least. Rangers charging right at the Grenadiers with an LMG. For some reason, the LMG though moves about, thus losing a good salvo. That's a bit of the problem with the LMG. Has a tendency, the gunner has a tendency of jumping about a bit too much, which is actually a bit of a disadvantage, since that of course means it won't be firing much either. I've been coming from. Oh dear, these heavy machine gunners could be running into problems. American vehicle pool getting repaired. Stormtroopers, Grenadiers. Everything else in between charging up, rifle and quickly pushed off. There we go, another Hellcat ready. And what do we see? We see artillery getting called in to actually cover the retreat of the anti-tank gun, essentially blocking fire, or Sperrfeuer, as it would be called in German. Not a bad idea, although I might have questioned the viability of this. Could have just sent in those Hellcats, perhaps that M8, gun them down, but now more tank destroyers, more M8s. No Shermans, so I really think you should have gotten a Sherman at least. But now, of course, you might be home for another off-map combat group. Grenadiers waiting. Rangers pulling up. Assault moving in. Grenadiers, Volksgrenadiers. No, that's just Grenadiers and Stormtroopers coming under heavy fire. Lots of 50 caliber machine guns firing off against them. Pioneers get lost. And we do see Blitzkrieg as the Tiger arrives, increasing the rate of fire of all weapons, including the Pak 38 actually. I mean, you really don't see the Blitzkrieg really used a lot, but it can really be a nice and handy ability, as it can really increase the output in terms of damage, but it can also just make them move a lot faster. M18 down, in fact several going down right there. Blitzkrieg rather ruining things for him. Pak 38 might be cleared out again, but looks like the M8 will never receive veterancy free as it hoped. And there we go, in fact. Pak 38 cleared out again, and I have no idea what knocked out that M8. It just sort of decided, I don't want to live anymore. I lost all my friends, and then looked a bit bloody weird. Grenadiers firing away madly. Getting grenaded though. Man down.
We are losing a victory point.
Another's advancing up through here. So here, machine gun and an LMG. In fact, 2, including the BAR, which wasn't sort of an LMG actually. Although there's like technically something called a battle rifle. Another off-map combat group. We do see Hellcat, an M8, and 2 riflemen. He's certainly getting a lot of infantry from those off-map combat groups. He's probably pleased by that. Interestingly enough, he's not trying to make any sort of huge attacks here in the west, though. With all that armor he's getting, that could actually probably help him a bit again. It would have forced me to sort of spread out, but it's not quite happening. And he's moving in from the rear, in fact. Tiger, though, is awfully damaged from the other battle, but again, Blitzkrieg increases the rate of fire, and there we go, main gun destroyed. And we do see a 50 caliber immediately clearing out the Pack 38 this time. M8 mine, not finishes though. And riflemen sneaking in as well though, but not looking good at all from the Americans. The 29th Infantry Division is simply taking 2 heavy losses. Pioneers blitzing about. And yes, infantry units do actually sprint under Blitzkrieg. They also fire actually faster. They're not as fast as by under Inspired Assault, but somewhat faster. Assault grenades against the riflemen, doing a bit of damage. Stormtroopers, Pioneers being forced away. Tiger tank still on the field. In fact, now with Veterancy 3, which actually decreases penetration received. I mean, it becomes harder for enemy anti-tank weapons to actually penetrate its armor. Of course, that doesn't make it invulnerable. You should never think it actually becomes that. Unless you're my enemy, then then feel free to think my Tiger is invulnerable. I won't mind. But swift counterattack grenadiers moving up with the light machine guns again. Rather than a bit out in the open, all in their own on the field. Let's just speed this up a bit again. Anti-tank gun getting hunted down. And again, sorry if this is a bit rushed, but again, I'm a bit short on time. And yes, I know it sounds like a poor excuse, but you know, assignments to do, other things to do. There we go, another assault right into the mess of this. Grenades getting lobbed like madness. LMG firing away. Volksgrenadiers dying. Everybody else also coincidentally dying. Stormtroopers and Volksgrenadiers following up. Lots of wounded and dead lying everywhere. And the Stormtroopers managed to kill most of the Volksgrenadiers on their own, except they're on the same side. But apparently it still counts for kills. Yes, we killed 24 men. But some of those were Volksgrenadiers. Shut up, Hans. Going there for the cutoff point. I think it might be a bit too late for that. Had he done that earlier, it would have been great, but he sort of seemed to get a bit too caught up in the east and forgot all about the west to a larger extent, which I think was a bit of a shame. This would rather was his ability to really shift from side to side, which did him all right.
Supply lines are broken. We have territory out of supply.
And there we go. What could be the final fight? The last stand.
Our forces are taking care.
Infantry team down.
Front shifting. Scouts are grabbing territory. Allies are down to 100 points.
Tank and everything else flying. Actually, might be time for me. No munitions for Blitzkrieg. Anti-tank gun was recruited, but also cleared out shortly. Rangers moving in from the flank. And the first burst of LMG fire actually utterly missed the Rangers. That's sort of a bit of the problem. The LMG only, you know, does something when it actually hits, and that's the problem. Anyway, switching to 3 for the Grenadiers. And the Rangers went down. So yeah, that was pretty much it from him.
We have taken a victory. Stormtroop replacements have arrived. Volksgrenadiers reporting full strength.
The enemy has 50 points left.
The Afghanistan point is ours.
Some mines went off. More tank destroyers apparently. Still no Shermans, but you know. And there we go. Game over. Alexx7 and the 29th has pulled out. The 2nd Panzer Division did survive in this fight. So there you go. I mean, what can we learn? I mean, in this case, we saw some great, stamina from Alexx7. Trouble was he wasn't really able to keep it up with actual survivability. He lost simply too much infantry in the long run, and he didn't get a medic station, which really would have helped in the long run with that. He was also a bit too keen on rushing in with Hellcats to sort of swarm my Tiger. Great, it worked the first time, but then again the second time he ran into a little problem called Blitzkrieg. And again, I mean, also sort of for the other side, of course, try to use Blitzkrieg more. It's actually quite a nice ability. It really can sort of shift things in your favor from time to time if used properly. And unlike Inspired Assault, it doesn't really make your troops easier to kill. It just makes tanks actually a bit less accurate. So, of course, little detail there. Of course, I could have salvaged some of all the munitions. I probably actually did. Almost, LMGs, I'm still a bit unsure. I mean, sometimes they can really do a nice work, other times rubbish. But, I wouldn't advise against them completely. And, of course, veterans is nice. So, there you go. I do hope you enjoyed this game. I really do. If you did, why not subscribe and tell your friends? And if you didn't, well, why not send in a replay of your own? This is ImperialDane saying cheers.